G'day, you're listening to the Nissan Nation podcast with Dave, Danny, and Holden.
The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are simply that. They are views and opinions of its guests or hosts. They do not reflect Nissan corporate or otherwise. Now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's a Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in your hosts, David, Danny, and Holden.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to coast and globally, guys. This is your Nissan Nation podcast, and tonight we've got big interviews. We've got Marvinbuilt from Instagram. Dude does killer builds. He converts some of those NV vans. And we've got our two amigos over there, guys, Mr. Daniel Groders and Mr. Holden Scott, man. What's up, guys?
Three amigos back again.
I know it's getting to
The
be a rare.
trifecta is complete.
It's a rare thing, but it happens occasionally.
It's like that day when you get to wash not only your balls, but the rest of your stuff instead of just a.
Wait, is Holding the balls?
I just reference to washing.
I think that's an Air Force thing.
It might be.
yeah, Marines don't wash.
That's right, man. So
Wash? We don't even have showers. What are you talking about? This is wash thing.
So Danny, man, it's been a while. We've been following your epic adventure. I noticed you got a few gray hairs, man. You took the Armada out and for a Sunday stroll, right?
Oh yeah, it's a 13-day road trip across the western side of the states. Not all of them, but a few. We did a run from my wife and my three kids. Went through Nevada, Utah, Colorado, touched New Mexico a little bit, and just went camping and checked out, I think it was 9 national parks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So
all in the Armada.
So when do you plan on doing that trip again?
Yeah. No,
That answer says it all.
It's one of those things. You do it once, you put that one in the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're just storing that for the memory bank, and you're like, yeah, we did that once. We did a trip.
Yeah. Well, my youngest is 19 months now, and so that just makes everything a little bit more work. He was actually really good, but it was when we camped for like 1 or 2 nights, and then we'd go stay in a hotel one night and then camp for 2 nights. So it was nice. We were able to get some shut eye and showers and whatnot.
I bet the
we did see some really cool stuff.
I bet the air conditioner felt well when you after a few nights of being outside.
Yeah. I mean, middle of summer, we were it was 80s and 90s in a lot of spots that we were camping at. So, and then the last nights we were in Zion, it was like 103.
Oh wow!
And at night it got down to 90. So that wasn't so comfy.
So nice, cool
camping there.
Yeah, nice, cool time. I see you took the shift pods out, right?
Yeah. Brought the shift pod, the big one. Slept the whole family in there with cots and sleeping bags and stuff like that. So stays pretty cool in the heat. Couple little things. If you like, I noticed if you're in like some serious heat, just if you have a fan in like one of the windows or on the floor or something like that, it just makes it so much cooler. Yeah, we didn't, but that's something that I'm actually going to use this weekend on a little beach camping trip. Shouldn't be nearly as hot though.
Nice. Well, how did the Armada perform, man? I know you've taken out just a little bit, but that's a long trip.
Yeah. The Armada did great. I made the mistake of having someone align it for me that I shouldn't really trust to align my truck anymore. So like 7 days in, we were literally in Colorado, dude, and I looked underneath my truck, and the inside edges of both my basically brand new tires were steel.
Wow.
And it was a Sunday, so I couldn't get new tires on. I put the spare on one and just drove it because we weren't anywhere near tire stores for like a long time. We took a really backwards route, and a lot of the stuff we kind of jumped in between national parks, but we would go kind of these back roads. So I barely ever got on like the 40 or I wasn't on the 15 that much. So it was a little sketchy driving all that way. I mean, I literally drove 1,400 miles on tires that had secondary rubber on the inside edge. Well, one of them, I put the spare on. The spare was fine, but the other one was like getting low, and then all of a sudden it was like low, and by the time it was like really, really bad, I was driving through Vegas, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make the extra. I gambled a little bit, but
well, when you're in Vegas, you have to gamble.
That's what I did.
So, so you shot craps.
And then the rear hatch struts went out on day 7.
Of course.
So I had to like hold the rear hatch open with my hand, and which surprisingly sucked because like my fridge was in the back. So every time you went in and out of the back, it was like, hey, can you hold this for me? So other than that, dude, that thing is like a road trip machine. It's so comfy, and AC blows cold. It's got power for days, and it's pretty good on gas. I think I averaged about 16 miles a gallon.
Wow.
And that thing was loaded, dude, with, that just having 2 little girls and then a baby boy, basically, you have to bring so much stuff. Like we had a big one of those pod things that goes on the roof, and that thing was like packed to the gills. I bet you there was 600 pounds on that thing. It's probably overloaded. So the back of the truck was squatting too, so that didn't help the alignment any. But yeah, it was a great trip. Did the hike the Narrows with the kids, and did a bunch of hiking. We went and saw those Indian villages that were stuffed into the cliff and stuff like that. So it was cool. It's a lot of fun. A lot of adventure.
One of the last pictures you posted, man, I think said it all though, because you were like, you could just see it in Dan's face. Like Dan looked like he was about 45 years old there.
That was a picture of me right after I threw all the tent and everything into the truck on the last night that we were camping. We decided we had hiked the Narrows, and it was like 6 o'clock in the evening, and we knew that it was going to be about 90 degrees at night, and we were exhausted. And my wife's like, dude, let's just drive 2 hours, get in a hotel, and then we'll drive home a day early, and we'll make a long drive tomorrow. But I just need to be in a hotel tonight. And so like on one hand, I wanted to go to the hotel. On the other hand, it was like at the time it was 100 degrees, and I had to like pick up all put everything away and pack the truck and then drive 2 hours to the hotel. And I was just like, you just dig deep. The kids crying, my girls are exhausted, so they're just complaining about cleaning, picking up everything and helping you pack. And so that was just like, I just muscled through it, and eventually we were done. But and then right as I packed like the last stuff, I sit in the truck, and I go to start the truck, and the battery was dead. the battery was dead in the truck. I was like, no, because my kids go in the truck and they'll like listen to music or plug something in or do whatever. And so I was like, you got to be kidding me. And it was just, luckily the neighbor camping next to me had a jumper box, and I had one of those like lithium jumper box, but of course my kid was like, watching a movie off of it or something like that. so I was so spent and fried. I'm like, I got to take a picture. I got to document this.
Yeah. Well, that does paint the picture properly then.
Yeah, that's where I was at that time. But me, and up till then, I was posting all kinds of epic pictures of me and the family, and it was just, and it was pretty epic. I mean, we had so much fun, and I know my girls had a time in their life, and they saw so many things that I wanted to show them. Because I went on a trip very similar to that as a kid, and I think of it a lot. I remember it being a magnificent trip. So I'm stoked that I was able to do that for my kids, and that's why we did it. We wanted to take the girls out and kind of show them some of the rest of the world a little bit.
Right. Well, I'm glad I grew up dirt poor, because we going to town was a big trip. there was no epic.
That is dirt poor. I thought I was poor because my parents like took me out on a trip, but like we always camped.
Right.
Like I never stayed in a hotel, man. We camped like hard. And I was like one of 5 kids, but
Oh, my dad on a trip was like, you got up at 3 a.m. If we were going back to their hometown in Ohio, it was like 3 a.m. And you were just, there was no stopping for bathroom breaks. You were just, it was as fast as you could go.
Hardcore road trip.
Oh yeah, dude. It's many of times going to the bathroom in a bottle because Dad's not stopping. And I remember one time we had this, it was a late 70s Buick. Like those, when you think of the big boats, like where I could have put my podcast studio in the back trunk of the car. It was so big. I remember something about the exhaust caused, and this car came from up north too, so it was rusted, falling apart. I remember the exhaust caught the inside carpet on fire. And we had to, and we're coming from Ohio back to Tennessee, and it literally, it didn't snow in Ohio, but it snowed in Tennessee when we came back, and I literally remember like my dad pulling over so we could grab snow to throw on the carpet. But that was the only stop, man. It was like, I don't know if the cat's in it or what it was burning up in this car, man, but it was total redneck. Just get home.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that would have been a road trip for me, Danny.
You know what, Dave? I did learn something amazing, and this goes out to all my friends out there who have daughters. And if you're going to take a road trip with girls, get one of those like lady pee things, where you can the ladies can stand and pee.
The cone of shame.
Yeah, dude, that thing saved my road trip because I swear to you, they had to pee every time, like 20 minutes outside of town, and there wasn't another bathroom for like 400 miles.
Right.
And so I'd be like, I'm gonna pull over, and you got to pee. And once they realized that they could just use that little thing, they're like, okay, sweet. They're just straight freaking throw the door open and pee away.
They're aiming
Now,
stuff.
Do you still have? Can you send one of those over this way? Because I'm gonna be road tripping with Dave next week, so we might need that.
Oh yeah, right.
That was the best segue into Nissan
news. Segue I think we've ever done in the Nissan news.
I know it's weird that Holden needs that cone of shame, but we'll figure it out. Yes, Nissan News is brought to you by Regal Nissan there in the greater ATL area. If you need a Titan that's $10,000, maybe less than the competition, go see Regal and Bo Scott over there and tell them the NNP sent you. So Holden, as you broke free the news there that a road trip is coming, why don't you get into this thing, man? What is going on that would cause you to want to go all the way to the West Coast?
Well, I have been kind of...
As you are listening to this, imagine Dave and Holden driving on Interstate 40. So let me just set that scene there.
Yeah, right now we're probably somewhere in the future, maybe Texahoma somewhere, if we haven't already killed each other.
Yes.
Jamming out to the road trip radio on the XM. I already told Dave he's got to be on key. So, but saw Sonny selling that Frontier, and it's kind of, I've toyed around with the idea of buying a rig somewhat like that. I've seen them come up for sale before, little truck buggy thing. And, like I said, in the past, we're really focused on trucks right now at our dealership. So it kind of was one of these things where the wheels started turning. I said, that'd be something cool to have at our store. Something we could use for advertising, use for some of the events and things that we go to. But then also when we started talking about possibly buying it and I reached out to Sonny, we were like, well, how are we going to get it? And I said, man, it'd be awesome to make a commercial advertisement, we can make a whole thing of it.
Yeah.
Of us going out there to actually pick it up. So that's kind of how it all came about. And obviously Dave wanted to tag along, and
man,
I'm all for crazy, spontaneous road trips to pick up fun toys.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I love like stupid trips like this, because when I told my wife this, she just looked at me and shook her head like, not another one. Because in 14 or whenever, when the JR was like, hey, Insane will build me a bumper, I was like, let's go. Like, I really pushed him into it, I think, a little bit. So I was bugging when I seen that. I was like, I wonder how they're gonna get it here. Let's bug Holden about that and see what's going on.
Well, as soon as you guys started talking about it, I don't know, maybe the third text I realized like this was going down, and I was so sad because I feel like I used to be able to sneak out on these trips like this. I was a little bit more free like probably about 2 years ago. Well, 18 months ago. So it made me so sad because like I immediately wanted to say, dude, I'm flying out. Where do I meet you guys? You know, because I want to be on this road trip, and I think it would be epic. But yeah, these days things are a little bit more crazy in the Grote household. It probably will be for another couple of years, I imagine.
Papa Groot there is pinned down.
Yeah, especially after. Well, I mean that and the fact that I just got back from a huge vacation, used all my vacation time up, and I gotta save some up because I got a couple big trips at the end of the year if I want to go on those. So, but yeah, I'm crazy jealous, and I will say, Holden, I've wheeled with Sonny quite a few times. I've been to Moab with him a bunch of times, and that truck is super rad. Like I can, he built it and then he got it built even better.
Kenny,
basically,
he sent it to Kenny, and Kenny got a hold of it.
Kenny really set that truck up, and now I mean it's super capable. So I'm super pumped that it's going to you. You know that it's going to go somewhere that it's going to be taken care of, and it'll keep making memories.
It's funny because I don't think he believed me the first couple times I reached out and kind of messaged him. He was like, are you sure? I was like, yep, dude, yes, I'm sure. Yes, this is he's like, I just feel really weird because I just posted this thing like 3 hours ago. And now I got a dealership in Georgia who wants to buy it. I was like, yeah, I know it's weird, but I got some plans for it. Obviously, it'll be up at Went, and then just other things I can do with it, even not even off-road related. Just having it up at the store, parking it up on the hill. Dave knows. I mean that. We're up on the hill. We can park it right there. There's so much traffic, just generating, drive-in traffic, maybe people just coming to see it. And then being able to tow it to events too. We sponsor high school stuff, things like that. Just showing up with a Titan with a freak truck on a trailer is going to just make people say, oh, I'm going to go check out this truck while I'm here. Oh man, and it just gives you a chance to talk to people about the Titan, because a truck like that, people are going to obviously want to see it. And they're going to be like, man, this thing, how much does this weigh? This thing looks crazy. And you towed it up here with a normal looking truck. So,
you gotta promise me one thing. You got to change the color on
it. We were already talking.
I just I love the truck. It's an amazing truck. And you don't really look at that truck and say, oh, I wish it was this color. But at the same time, that maroon kills me.
Dude, I just
do not like
that throwback, that red.
All.
That red, blue, and that throwback like they did on the Titan and stuff, and kind of like what Holden has would be amazing on that truck.
I think the red, white, and black to match the truck would be pretty boss.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me, I've had that. My dad wants to do like the OD military green with the flying tiger eye and mouth on it. So we've been kicking around a couple ideas.
Hey, you tell Pops.
That would be pretty sweet.
You tell Pops when he learns what gas pump goes where, he gets to decide what.
That's when he gets to drive it. Does your Pops ever listen to this show? We talk a lot of smack, man. I'm scared to go out there, man.
If he does, he doesn't say anything. So.
Yeah, then he's listening. He's listening. Oh, man. Well, this is it's a grind. Definitely. This is it sounds fun in theory, but definitely it's going to be a grind cuz what you have plans for us to be there Tuesday night, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm probably going to end up leaving Sunday night just to be up at your house sometime in the evening. Mm-hmm. That way we can leave out kind of early Monday. So I'm hoping to get there Tuesday night because the whole thing is I know Sonny's got to work. So if we don't get there Tuesday evening in a good time, then we'll just have to sit around Tempe, Arizona Wednesday till he gets off. And I don't know anything about Tempe, Arizona, but I don't think there's a lot to do.
Hey, all I know
I don't think there's going to be somewhere we can just.
Tempe's good.
But I don't know where we're just going to leave balls.
Yes.
Gooseneck trailer like. All right, we'll just leave this gooseneck trailer here while we go do stuff and come back later and pick it up.
I told you we'll just throw my Xterra on the back of it just for, so I can say it's been out west. And, of course, it won't really – we'll take Kelly's Xterra. They'll throw it on there.
Classic Dave.
Well, I was already getting the
Tow
lecture.
the Xterra around places instead of actually driving anywhere.
I was already getting the lecture today from my wife because she knows me so well. She's like, after you pick up this truck, I don't want to hear anything like, we're just going to stop somewhere and off-road it for a few days.
We're just going back. We're going to take 70 back. So we're going through Moab.
Oh,
She's
buddy.
like, how close is it to Moab? Because I know you'll be trying to get up there. And I was like, you know me so well.
There's plenty of places in between.
I'll tell you what, dude. When I was driving, like on my road trip, when I was driving by Moab, it took everything. I was like, "Can we go?" And my wife's like, "Do you really want to?" So it was like this opportunity. I'm like, "Man, I could just go take this thing on fins real quick."
Yeah.
And I was like,
This is,
and I finally passed it.
This is the first year since 14 that I haven't been to Moab yet this year. So
Yeah, this is the first time since '09 that I didn't go.
I'll say me and you spent a little. You went to
Oh
God.
no,
last
I
year,
missed 2011 or 2010, something like that. But that was the only one I missed.
But yeah, we had the bear run out in front of us in Moab last August. So there, hopefully we see a bear or something holding. I mean, you know, when Danny's rallying through these hills in right above Moab, and we 5 a.m. spot a black bear right in front of us. So we got to have a bald eagle or something.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some bald eagles.
Something majestic.
So what are you guys driving out there? Your Titan?
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Nice.
my Titan. My dad was like, "You want to take mine?" I was like, "I do not want to hear that roof basket for 4,000 miles."
Yeah.
With that wind noise he's got going on.
Plus, man, we got to have the Regal Beagle there. You know, we got to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I told him too. I was like, "Man, I'm gonna be, you know, with us being super motivated for trucks, this will give us a chance, you know, get some good shots, do some videos, just all kinds of stuff that can come from this too. I mean, you can be putting that truck through 4,000 miles in 5 days, so be a little testament to the toughness of it. Hopefully, it's a testament to the toughness.
Yeah.
of it.
It's gonna be such a good show as long as Dave hits the record button and doesn't delete it when he gets back to his house.
Well, I can guarantee you there'll be a
So-
Titan interview on this one.
Yeah. Well, that'll be something. If you do it live.
Yeah, well, I imagine there'll be plenty of selfies and everything. So, but if you do see us if you happen to see the Regal Cummins Titan, man, be sure to hashtag it. Let us know. Let us know we've been spotted. I imagine we'll be looking for every Nissan we can.
Also, Holden, be careful when Dave sleeps. He's not actually dying. That's just how he sleeps. CPAP life.
I slept next to an artillery unit for 6 months in Afghanistan, so
Okay, you're
I'm
good.
pretty well versed on the being able to sleep through anything. But I mean, and two, I've already been hearing it from people, a few people at least, like, "Are you gonna get one of those bought not built stickers for your truck?"
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And so that kind of going to be a little segue into our next topic, which is something I know Dave was itching. Speaking of bought not built, Dave, what is up with the GoFundMe's lately?
Dude, oh my God. So a couple years, every once in a while, it's within the Nissan truck community, definitely. Every once in a while, you see these people put up a GoFundMe page, and you're always like, a GoFundMe? What is their truck dying of cancer or something? I mean, what could be that you need a GoFundMe for a Nissan? I mean, they're built tough, right? Like, there's no reason for I'm not expecting a GoFundMe when we're on our trip out there, Holden. So, but yeah, so this week's
Wait, we're
rant.
not?
No GoFundMe.
I was gonna start one.
Well,
Someone's got to pay for all this Monster and Grizzly I'm gonna be consuming.
Hey, I've got a case of Monster just waiting to go with me, man. But yeah, so GoFundMe's, man. So GoFundMe is it's a cool thing for, like, if you're starting a TV show or some little homemade project like that, or you're just looking to get your community support a little bit. GoFundMe is not for GoFund my adventure rig. It's not for hey, my engine's on its last leg. Could you do you guys? I'm gonna go ahead and put a VK V8 in there. Could y'all maybe, like, the particular one I'm talking about it wasn't even a full, like, I would have more respect for somebody if they said, "Hey guys, could you support my page? Here's what I'm trying to do." I have zero respect for somebody that just goes, I'm thinking about and it was a Frontier guy putting it on an Xterra page. Like the communities know each other pretty good, but like Xterra people, they know each other. You know, they know Xterra people, and Frontier people kind of know Frontier people, but nobody knew this cat, man. And then there was the one Peach guy or whatever his name is was kind of defending him a little bit, and I totally get it. He, in his eyes, he was like, man, we'll fund this guy and he can document putting a V8 in an Xterra or a Frontier and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, our buddy Brennan there, pretty well documented how you do this, guy. He started a business based on this, Driven Desires. So I'm not really sure that I'm going to give $20 to somebody, so they might, you know, with their iPhone, try to document something. But what are you guys' opinions? I'll start with you, Danny. What kind of, and I don't, first off, I don't mean to like bash. I mean, I know we're all been those broke college kids or whatever. And like, you think, oh man, this will be an easy, you know, people will help me out. But Danny, what is your opinion on GoFundMe and your build?
In my experience, I think it's a good lesson in economics for some people. I think anybody is more than welcome to start a GoFundMe, but at the same time, don't be surprised if a lot of people say, "Oh, you know what? I love donating to GoFundMes, but I usually donate to the ones where my neighbor got cancer and stuff like that. You know, where they're gonna die or
funeral services,
you know, something like that." But I think if you want to do something like a GoFundMe, come up with a plan on how you're going to, quote unquote, repay the people that are helping to donate to your whatever it is that you're trying to do. So if you want someone to help fund your build, you should have already be providing the people that you want to help. You should be providing them with content or T-shirts or something that they get in return for helping you. I mean, it's kind of like an economic thing. I know your people ask for something out of the good of your heart, but if it's just something for a hobby, you need to think of it from a business point of view. If you want people to help you through GoFundMe. I know there's a lot of ones where, like, if you fund, like Kickstarter, I think is the one where if you give $10, you know, you get a sticker pack, you know, or you become part of this club if you give $30, or you get to go to the launch party and it's free drinks and, you know, they hook you up. That's how Kickstarter works, which is, you know, you're getting value. I mean, you know that the money that you give is probably going to be more than what you're getting back as far as a worth, but you're getting to be part of something cooler, something bigger. And so that's where I think if you're going to start like a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe, provide some value to the person that's helping you out. So, you know, if you want to do a VK swap, start a YouTube channel and provide a good content where you get a bunch of subscribers and say, hey, you know what? Now that I got a bunch of subscribers, I want to keep doing this really well. I want to provide my subscribers with good content. So I'm going to, you know, up my game with editing videos and make these really great videos for you so that you can do this. But don't just say, hey, give me money and just sit there and I mean, he's not going to get any money. That's the thing. You know, you make $40 or something like that, but you're going to get zero money if you and a bad reputation. That's all he's going to get if you start a handout page.
Yeah, I was going to say Kickstarter. I mean, something like this would be more Kickstarter oriented, because I know, just to bring one up, I actually gave money to it just because I thought it was cool, just a couple bucks. But the Dead Man Off-Road recovery system that they got, where you bury it or you can use it for rocks, I just thought it was a cool thing, the story they had going. So I gave some money for that Kickstarter program.
Well, Kickstarters are different.
Something that would be more Kickstarter. But the whole thing with this to me is, I mean, like we said, Driven Desires already got this kind of cornered. I know there was some talk of, well, we just want to see what it's really like and what the codes really are. I don't want things to be hidden, but from everything I've ever seen and read and talked to with Brennan personally, you know, he's got it figured out, and he's a very transparent guy. He's going to let you know what issues you may run into, this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
to where this is like one of those things where someone's trying to make another something that's already been made. I mean, unless you're bringing something new or innovative to the market, you're kind of just wasting people's time in a way. But I definitely don't see it being a GoFundMe type of situation at all.
Well, I think ultimately, I think there wasn't a lot of thought put in this particular instance. And but I've seen it in the past, and I've seen it about once a year. You see these goofy things pop up. Where there was one time there was somebody that wanted somebody to fund the trailer build or something, and then there's overland groups, man, and this pisses me off to no end. And I will bash the piss out of you for this. Do not come to me for a GoFundMe so that you can document your trip that I'm paying for. So you can go around Colorado or whatever. Yes. And 99% of those overland guys have done poorly, man. I mean, they're all the videos, the expedition guys, the overland guys, they nailed however it is, they nailed how you do it. And then everybody else thinks, oh man, yeah, you just get a GoFundMe people so we can buy the cameras and stuff and we'll go do these adventures. And guys, kiss my ass. That's all I got to say. If that's your thing, like, and some of these people that you see do it are well-to-do people. Like, it amazes me. It's like those hobos that you've always heard about on the side of the road begging for dollars, and then you see them go get in a brand new Mercedes. That's what I feel like these GoFundMe things are, And this makes me hot, man, because I've worked for everything I have. Like, nobody gave me anything except the first NXM. I will disclose it. Guys donated me a welder and a bender. I was completely unexpected and totally not asked for, which gets me to, we've done it in the past. I think it was episode 2 or 3. We helped get Danny Trout that bumper, the insane bumper. When I see a need for people, or I see somebody great in the community that might be down on their luck or something, we love to secretly get money together, and then we surprise somebody with it, which is, they're not asking for it. But when these people are just on the street corner begging for dollars, man, F you guys. That's where I'm at on it.
Now, wait a minute. You said you never got anything. I'm pretty sure I gave you a Nissan logo one time and a sweet Chive On patch.
I tried to.
I flew you out for your birthday to California.
Jesus,
and
guys.
treated you to the most amazing couch, and
4 hours of couch I got,
and and a race truck on a race course.
I'm about to start a GoFundMe page so we can buy you some shirts that aren't fluorescent green.
Hey. But no, I know, like, I agree. I mean, I know that people have done some nice things for me like that, but never have you ever heard me go, hey guys, man, I really wish somebody could fund my adventures. You know how I get my adventures funded? I started a podcast, or I started
Kelly Boyd.
Yeah, pretty much my wife. No, but like, dude, I started Xterra Nation and I was unemployed. Like, I took my last $200 that I had and bought the forum software and started it, and it instantly paid for itself because people knew that I was doing something good for the community. And I assume that's why, like, you guys like helped fly me out to LA or something. That, like, I'm not innocent by like saying I never got anything like this, kind of how I'm bashing on people, but people that just like, throw up their cardboard
it's
sign.
Like, if your Crazy Beaver tool shovel is powder coated to match your truck, and you have more than 3 Max Tracks and more than 12 Roto Packs
for your gravel road,
you do not need a GoFundMe page.
Right. And kind of wrapping up with this, if this guy, this particular person, I know they're kind of down on their luck. It's their Xterra's kind of probably their daily driver. But if the guy just bought a bumper and a Titan swap, and like, you have money there to get your car fixed, sell that stuff. And I don't want to hear, well, it took everything I had to get this. Well, that's life, man. Life takes everything you have, and then it still keeps asking for more. So
isn't that the truth?
Yes. So either sell your shit, or get off the internet and quit asking for money, man. So I'll let you guys wrap up with that and your final thoughts on it. But yeah, Heated Dave is here on that one.
I agree, Dave. And like you were saying with XN, if you wanna make, if you wanna get ahead, provide some content, to make money, you fill a need, So find a need, fill it, or if you have a bunch of things that are worthwhile, sell those things and pay for what you don't have money for. But I mean, maybe just scrap it, buy a Honda Civic, and go to college, and maybe take a business degree class, and then learn a little bit more about basic economics and
I would rather give
capitalism.
If you said I have to park this truck for a while because the motor's gone, I would donate for. Hey, you're like, hey, I'm looking for a beater, man. I'll donate $20-$30 easily if I knew it was like to buy a beater to just get you, back and forth through life over that. So
yeah. So
I think we killed that one. I think we killed that one.
Speaking of moving on, man, let's Lifestyle Off-Road. Our buddy Luke Pankow over there at Lifestyle Off-Road, he has just redid his website, man. He's kind of refocusing in some of his projects, and go give Luke over there. Go look at his new website, lifestyleoffroad.com. The guy does stickers, all kinds of cool things. He's more than a sticker company, hats. Really. Yeah, he's more of a media company, really. He does it all, man. So if you need anything for your club, just one-off stuff, he loves doing that stuff too. Whatever, give Lifestyle Off-Road over there. You can contact them on their website. Give those guys, give them a little love there on the socials, and give him a little love by buying something so he can make some money.
Yeah, buy some swag from him. If you got a logo for something, if you are that entrepreneur that wants to make a little money, do a little business, something, start something of your own. Someone like Luke is a huge help for that. I know he helped me a ton. I said, hey, I got a logo, or I got an idea for a logo, and he can whip that logo up for you. I mean, he doesn't work for free, of course, and that's again some economic stuff.
Tonight's theme.
Yeah, but he's a huge help when it comes to whether it's making shirts or stickers or logos, hats, you name it, he's got you covered. So I know I use him a ton for stuff.
I'm actually got him doing something right now for me for an event we got coming up, because I am not the artistic type at all. So I'll just here's kind of what I'm thinking, and you're the artist, so go. But he's definitely helped me out in the past with some things I've done before. So yeah, definitely, if you got anything coming up, a rebranding of something you're already doing, anything like that, definitely head on over to his website and let him help you grow your business.
That is correct, and that is lifestyleoffroad.com. And speaking of business, let's get to tonight's business, man. Mr. Holden over here hooked us up with a killer interview with a guy named Marvin Mancia with Marvin's Builds. Is that correct there?
Marvinbuilt.
Marvin
on
Built,
Instagram. He's over at Tim Dahle Nissan out in Utah. So, like I said, I've come across him on my Nissan Titan XD Instagram page that I run. He's tagged me in some stuff, so always share it. But then being part of Nissan, being involved with Titans, things like that, Tim Dahle Nissan's one of the bigger Titan dealers. I know they're on the national committee for Titan, huge dealer out west with Titan. So Marvin's one of their main technicians, doing all the lifts, doing all the builds. Definitely some cool trucks that have come in and out of there, and they get wild with them too, guys. It's not just a slight lift. It's we're wrapping things purple, green, everything like that. So,
well, and then this interview is brought to you by, is that an M&P AR-15 or Bursa my 380 or Danny's? What are you toting over there, Danny? I feel like this is the Armory podcast. Well, anyway, so let's lock and load here, guys, and let's get the interview with Mr. Marvin on the books.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we got Marvin over at, make sure I'm saying this right, Tim Dahle Nissan over in Utah.
Yeah, sounds right.
All right. So, so go ahead. I've obviously met you through Instagram with the Nissan Titan XD page. He runs an awesome Instagram page. It's Marvinbuilt is the screen name, so definitely go check out some of the stuff he's doing, some of the builds he's doing. But what's going on, Marvin? How are things over on the West Coast?
I am really busy right now. I'm
right.
building so many trucks. We're doing so many different things and just taking it to a whole nother level. The 4x4 MVP is another one that's I'm really busy with. So we offer basically a 4x4 conversion on your NV 3500. Everything is Nissan. I mean, everything's electronic, electric switch, it's auto, and you can actually plug in console and read codes, do diags, do whatever. So if you're at a different dealer, you can actually diag it and have a technician look at it. So this system is like legit. It's awesome. Haven't had any issues with it. Haven't had any problems. It's been working really well. So if you guys have any,
I know I've seen y'all start and build those and everything. So why don't you go into a little bit of, as far as y'all are pulling these off the Titan XD diesels, as far as the transfer cases and diffs?
Yeah, so everything is out of the heavy duty XD. So the transfer case, front diffs, axles, driveline, and then we just have our own harness that we have to custom make. And then the switch is the same as the XD. And then there's also a 4x4 light in the cluster that tells you when you're in and out of four-wheel drive, which is something that the other guys don't offer. They just have like just a random light sitting on the dash that indicates 4x4. So I actually took the time and all the research, everything to make this perfect. So we've had a lot of testing. We've had a lot of things didn't work, and we've had a lot of problems with. I mean, but it's finally down to the last. It's finally made and designed, so it runs and it works awesome. So
yeah, so obviously there's a lot of, I guess, trial and error, some R&D. So kind of I'm curious, how exactly did you kind of get into this? Obviously you're Nissan.
So there's a big demand for the 4x4 MVP here. I mean, we have a lot of snow. We do a lot of snowboarding and skiing. We have a lot of canyons. I mean, we have a lot of bad roads and it rains. So one day, my GM sat down and he's asked me, "Can you really do a 4x4 conversion?" And I told him yes. And ever since then, I had to figure it out. I had to. There's a lot of people that told me no. There's a lot of people, you'll never figure it out. You'll never do it. But I just kept on going. I mean, it took me like 6 months to figure out once it was all said and done. It took me about 6 months to figure it all out. For the electrical and all that, the mechanical, because you gotta take apart the transmission in the back to actually make it work, because you gotta add the adapter for the transfer case. So I mean, it wasn't something really simple but I had an MVP, then I had a XD on my other lift. So I was actually had both of them torn apart and was going back and forth to see what would work, what wouldn't. So, I mean, it helped a lot that I work at a Nissan dealer too. So I had all the part numbers, all the parts, everything. I had something to look at. I think we have 200 trucks out on the dirt lot right now, 200 XD trucks, XD, non-XD. And we have about probably 40 NV vans. I mean, we have a lot of different variety, whatever colors. I mean, we can custom build anything basically. So we can build anything you want basically. We can go all off road. We can go family. We can do whatever you want. So.
Yeah. So I know
actually,
myself working at a Nissan store, it's always cool. I know customers appreciate it when there's a Nissan dealership that's actually, doing lifts, things like this on the truck. It really makes them feel comfortable buying something like that because they know that you're kind of standing behind the product. And if there is an issue, they can come back to you as well. So kind of walk us through, how exactly did you start at the dealership? I mean, did you come up?
So actually, I went to school to do bodywork and paint. But then when I started doing it as a career, I kind of got bored and I had to start all over on the mechanic side. So I actually had to start in the lube bay and work my way up, technician, do all the training, do everything. And looking back, it's like I went to school to do the total opposite. I mean, I got bored, so I started turning wrenches, trying different things, doing things people wouldn't do. I mean, I've tried a lot of different things. So, I mean, anything custom, I mean, anything, I built it, or either have somebody build it for me. I do everything. So, I don't know, it's a funny story actually, going from painting, doing body work and stuff to being a full line tech. And then actually, so I got a chance about 3 years ago, they wanted some lifted trucks. So I basically proved myself on everything I'm doing right now. So they saw what I'm building, what I'm doing. They saw how good it's looking, what's the style right now, what these young kids are buying. I mean, it changes all the time. I mean, there's so many different styles, so many different ways of doing trucks, so many different color combinations. Like, there's so many different things. So basically what I try to do is just stay with the culture right now, what kids are liking, what they don't like, you know what I mean? I build all kinds. I mean, I go all out, off-road, show. I mean, I do all kinds of things, all of them.
Yeah, and that's like, because you got a huge.
I even put 24s on Armadas. I do rims on Maximas. I do Rogue Sports. I do Rogues. I do everything. So basically, anything and everything that makes it look a little bit better, even if just wheels and tires. I mean, I just love doing different things, making it look different just by doing a little thing that makes it look so much better.
Yeah. So my other question is, obviously you're on Instagram. You have a pretty big following. It looks like about 1,500 followers. So people are always, I'm assuming people are always reaching out. People are always commenting. Yes. I actually referred someone to you today because I had a guy messaging me. He was wearing me out about offset wheels, and I was like, man, there's all kinds of ones out there. I was like, I personally like fuel wheels, but he wanted me to pretty much do all the research for him and tell him exactly everything. I'm like, man, it depends on your personal style. And I was like, if you want more advice,
that's the first thing I ask when somebody tells me, hey, I just got a Titan, I want to do this, and that. So the first thing I ask is, what's your style, man? Do you like show, off-road? You want big tires? You want big offset? What's your style like? Then just base it off what they say or what they like.
Yeah, because I know even at our store we have 2 or 3 lifted trucks at a time. And I've had guys walk in and say, I like this truck, but I want the same exact truck, but I want chrome wheels. And I was just like, you want chrome wheels? People still like chrome wheels, but I guess it's still a thing. So it's something.
It is. It's still a thing.
So, what's one of your favorite trucks that you've done?
So I don't know if y'all saw the green one. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw Hulk.
I saw Hulk.
The black one I just recently built. I think that one's my favorite one. The black one with the DB custom grill, front grill on it with the Titan back LED lighting. I think that's probably one of my favorites. But I also love the crazy green and purple truck too. It was just something really, 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 really out of nowhere. It was crazy. The colors were really bright. I mean, that truck was pretty awesome too. You got some people to look at you. I mean, just driving down the road, it was a pretty bright colored truck. But I don't know. Kind of go back and forth between the green one and that black one I just barely got done.
Yeah, Danny, have you seen this one, Danny? The one we're talking about, the Hulk?
Yeah,
I think so. Did it have green wheels as well?
No, it had purple wheels and
purple wheels.
And it was wrapped green.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff on his Instagram showing with it.
So
what was the Instagram again?
Marvinbuilt.
One word?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, one word. So yeah, if you're listening right now, obviously if you're driving, don't drive and do this. But when you get a minute, check out Marvinbuilt. Scroll. It's gonna be a few back, but it's a big green truck with purple wheels. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. It's got some of the trim pieces in the inside were hydro dipped green as well. So
nice.
It was a crazy build. Like this truck, when I got done, I was like, holy crap. This is really, really bright.
Didn't it even have purple lighting as well, or green lighting?
Yeah, it's had green underglow lighting. I powder coated the lift kit purple, so it was a full 6-inch rough country. So I actually powder coated the lift kit purple. The wheels were purple. The interior was hydro dipped. The headlights I sent them out to Eco Tint so they could take them apart and basically black them out on the inside. They did. It's called a Demon. Demon Halo. They did that. They did a halo around the headlights. I mean, we went all out on this truck.
Yeah, I see it right now. That thing's pretty wild, man.
And I
definitely full show status.
Y'all recently sold it too, didn't you?
Yeah, it's been gone for a couple months now.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Oh yeah. We basically tried to show it off as much as we could, just so people can see what we can actually do to a Titan. I mean, there's not many people out there, not many dealers that do this to a Titan or are willing to go all out on a Titan. So it was something definitely we had to try. Yeah, we've been working on some pretty crazy projects. Yeah, we have probably 10 lifted trucks right now. All colors, all makes, all models.
Well, I've got a question. I've got a question for you, man. The NV van stuff you're doing. What is the upcharge on something like that? If people are looking and going, because I know the vans themselves are fairly expensive. What to convert it 4-wheel?
So an SL, I think you're around 43, brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's around 43 for the SL model, which it has the backup camera, backup sensors, and front sensors, and it's got leather too. And the 4x4 is actually 13.5, so 13,500. And ours is a little more different because ours is actually all the parts, everything on ours is really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit higher on the price because we like Nissan transfer case, everything's brand new, everything comes from Nissan. We get everything brand new. And it was a lot of money in parts, so we had to get our price a little bit higher. I mean, we're not that far off from Advanced 4x4 and Craigley's, but we're pretty close to their price. I mean, but theirs is totally different though. Theirs is they're using a 2-speed transfer case. The front differentials, the axles, the drive lines, everything is totally different. It's not like they don't have as many parts as we have, like ours has
Right.
all these Nissan parts and everything. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it because it's simple to use. Anybody can use it. It's really simple.
Well, what is when you're converting one, what's the time frame to do it from start to finish?
It takes me a day,
Wow.
full day. It's a lot of work. It takes me a full day to do one, fully done, and then test driving it at the end of the day. After
Now,
doing everything.
Now I know you said Nissan's drop shipping ones as maybe a customer wants it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now what kind of? This is just for my own curiosity. What kind of warranty is it? Just the 1 year, 12,000 mile, or?
We're doing 5-year. So
Okay.
whatever the van has, so the 5-year, 100,000 mile warranty. So we're actually doing and sticking to that warranty.
Cool. That's awesome. Very, very cool. So just I just want to know now, you being a Nissan technician, I know some of my technicians at my store, they don't always drive Nissan, but what does Marvinbuilt, what do you drive?
Actually, I actually drive a Nissan as a daily. My
Okay.
wife drives a Nissan, but I actually have two side projects. So I have a 93 EG hatch, and I have it's a 93 EG2 right-hand drive Civic that is sitting in my garage, just waiting for me to get to it. I mean, I'm really busy. It's really hard to go home and then work on my own stuff. So, I have a right-hand drive Civic. It's
All right,
something
so-
I like to be different. So
you're pretty
Yeah,
much
so-
complete opposite of what you do and build all day.
yes. So, but
Yeah.
I worked at Honda for a year before I went back to Nissan. So I actually
Okay.
worked at a Nissan dealer, then went to Honda for a year, and came back to Nissan, where I am right now. It's a different dealer than where I was. So it was kind of a funny story. I fell in love with the older Civics. I know a lot of people talk bad about them, but you know what? At the end of the day, that's something I can afford actually to build.
Right.
Yeah, and it's actually something I can have fun and go race. I actually but I know a lot of people that have R32s, R33s, R35s. I mean, I have a lot of friends that drive those around and stuff like that. Sometimes I get to touch them. Sometimes I get to drive them. I mean, yeah, sometimes I get to do a little bit of everything. Sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah. So as far as obviously trucks go, obviously sounds like y'all are doing a lot with Titan. I know there's a lot of people that will ask me, what's the best thing about the Titan? What's the worst thing about the Titan? This, that, the other. So just to our guys out there, maybe they're thinking about buying a Titan. We got a lot of off-road listeners. So with the Xterra being gone, they're looking for tow rigs, things like that. So give us from your perspective.
So
you know what?
I don't know if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see a Titan XD towing a 19,000-pound trailer, and for everybody, we actually drove that in the freeway, drove it around, and it actually towed the weight. And all we had to do was some airbags in the rear, but other than that, it towed it just fine. I mean, they say it's only rated for 12,000 pounds, but I'm always trying to push them to the max to see what the limit really is. So we pushed that truck for a couple months, towing that big trailer, that fifth wheel. I think it weighed 19,850, something like that. So it did okay. It wasn't a super duty, like it didn't have the big heavy duty springs and axles, but it did pretty good actually. So I do recommend the XD, the diesel, to tow. If you're doing a lot of towing and stuff, I probably recommend the XD. And it's really quiet. I mean, it's really comfortable. I mean, I know some people tow more, so you do have to understand that it's only capable of 15,000 pounds. So, I mean, some people get these trucks and they're like, oh, it can't tow anything, it can't do this and that, because you're pushing it way over what it's rated for. So there's a lot of people out there that dislike them. I mean, there's a lot of people that love them. I mean, it always goes back and forth, I guess. So
yeah, man.
So actually, I think my favorite is the gas, the half ton. I don't have anything to tow. I don't have anything crazy to do. So the half ton, I'll probably prefer a half ton, but it would not stay stock. It would not.
I would expect nothing less from you. Well, kind of in wrapping it up, I'm just going to tell people, it's Marvinbuilt, all one word. Go give him a follow on Instagram. He was kind of walking us around the dealership before we started recording. So he's got a big reveal coming soon. I'm not going to say anything else. I'll let him, I don't want to steal any of that thunder, but go follow his page. And before we wrap it up, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors, anything like that you want
to? I try to answer everybody's question on Instagram. So, I mean, thank you guys. Thank you for all the followers. Thank you. I always try to help out. So anybody out there with a Titan, you have questions, lift problems, tires, whatever, just holler at me. I'll try to answer everything as fast as I can. Sometimes I'm a little slow, but because I also have to be at work. But other than that, thank you guys. Thank you guys for doing this show.
No problem, tuned. Man. Yeah, we enjoyed having.
I got something coming out really soon. It's gonna blow you guys' mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you being on. And man, keep putting out those builds. I like seeing them.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me. So, thank you so much.
All right, man. We'll talk later.
What is going on, everybody? Let me talk to you a little bit about Lifestyle Off-Road. What is Lifestyle Off-Road? What do they do? Well, let me tell you, they make custom t-shirts, they make custom graphics, stickers, you name it. They also have their own line of clothing. I wear a lot of it, man. I personally like their designs and what they do and how they support, the off-road community and especially the Nissan community. So if you need something from custom stickers, I love you grandma, whatever you want to put on your car, maybe family reunion t-shirts, maybe t-shirts for your club or event, give them a shout over there at www.lifestyleoffroad.com or check them out on Facebook at Lifestyle Off-Road. Be sure to tell them the NNP sent you. All right, man, that was awesome. Thanks, Holden over there at Regal Nissan for hooking us up with that. They do some crazy things, man. Like, I didn't realize that the NV didn't come in a 4-wheel drive, the big full-size commercial van. So that's kind of cool, man. And I was looking through his Instagram page, and man, the black lifted on 35's NV van, man. I'll be honest, the past few weeks, those have been kind of on my eyes of like, man, I could make a mobile podcast studio out of that thing. And like, because Holden would know better. I'm assuming that would tow an Xterra probably fine, the 3500.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would tow it fine. They might tell you, oh, it's not quite rated because of the way of the vehicle. But, yeah, you should be able to do it. Probably just maybe at the most need to put some bags in the rear.
Right.
But, yeah, you should be more than fine. And plus, you wouldn't need one of the big passengers if it's going to be your mobile studio. You're just get one of the cargo ones and
Yeah.
soundproof the back, and there you go.
That's right, man. And to lose some weight, I'd have to lose one of my co-hosts, so that would be okay, right?
I think you've already lost one.
I was gonna say you've already lost at least one co-host off of your body.
Well, so yeah, back to Marvin, man. I thanks Holden for hooking us up with that, man. He was an interesting dude. And even before like we did the interview, like he's walking us around on Skype, just showing us all these killer builds he's doing, man.
Yeah, they definitely.
A bunch of stuff.
They're not scared of getting out there. They're not scared of having multiple lifted trucks. So yeah, it's just awesome seeing another Nissan dealership getting behind the products like that.
And they don't seem to be scared of trying to figure out financing for a $100,000 truck because some of those have to be expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you start getting into stuff like that, you don't really. Someone comes in serious, buyer on stuff like that, you're usually pretty good.
I'd like a 10-year payment on this thing, please. And I'm assuming like leasing something like that's out of the question on some of these, right?
Yeah, I mean, the residual values and all that would get out of whack. You're not even. Someone comes in and says they want to lease that,
you'd be so upside down by the time you turn it in, and there's no point in you have to like triple the lease payment.
Well,
yeah. So yeah, guys who come in buying stuff like that, those are. I mean, obviously, you're guys who just have money to spend, guys who really want them. You'll even see, I know we get them, construction companies, pavement companies, guys that, do their own construction type of businesses, and they're using them as tax write-offs for their business anyway, so they don't care about spending some extra money on a lifted truck.
Right. Someone like Regal Nissan, who, once again, you might see when you're listening to this podcast, the Regal Nissan heading towards Arizona, or it could be heading on the way back to Atlanta. Well, let's get to a couple more Nissan news things as we wind the show down. Danny, we didn't get to talk to you in a couple weeks. Did you happen to see the Nissan GT-R 50 yet?
That's the concept one?
Yes.
I did. I kind of liked it.
What? Tell me about this thing, man, because I don't remember what Holden's take on it was, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, well, if I remember, they kind of switched up the front grille a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very similar to the old one, but it's got they kind of retweaked the front and the back. I dig it. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if it's enough. But it's definitely to me it sticks with like those kind of like those big shoulders and big beefiness. It's not quite that slim, sleek supercar that everybody else has.
Right.
So I do kind of appreciate the beefiness of it. Might be a little too beefy. It's almost like it's like they put body panels on top of the old GTR.
Mm-hmm.
So I mixed feelings of it,
Well,
I don't see that as becoming the next one.
Oh, Lord, no. I don't think
I think they'll tweak it a bunch more.
I don't think it like influences the next design at all, but I was curious your take on that thing. I know it's coming to the States. They're bringing one or two over here to kind of showcase of this.
Just to excite people a little bit about something.
Yeah, and
tide them over probably.
Well, last time I heard from Holden, he did not think this was worth the price of admission.
I just think it's a waste of resources and time. I just think we could have done stuff to improve the brand in other ways. I just don't see it really driving people to the Nissan brand. I don't see someone seeing that and say, I'm going to go down to my local Nissan dealership and see what else they got in stock. Or, because of this, I'm going to go XYZ. I just think sometimes they're too focused on GTR instead of, some other things they could be doing.
Well,
yeah, like a new Z.
Which I think we hit on that a little bit. And one last thing too, Danny, we didn't get to talk to you about the surf camp, man. Did you get to check that one out?
Yeah, I did. I mean it's super cool. I like surfing, and they threw all the little bells and whistles. They had the lightning rack on there with the bed slide. The bed slide. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
where it has the drawers in the bed. But yeah, it was nice. It was super cool. It's kind of outfitted like one of us would outfit a kind of an overland rig, but just a little tweak for the surf cruise. So that was pretty sweet. I dug that.
Well, did you dig? I mean, I don't remember like base camp and all that. You seem pretty hip on that. The Armada, which you get to see in person, you kind of, I think, like that a little bit.
Yeah, the base camp. Let's see. Was it the base camp? Was the Armada
one.
or was
no base camp is the?
That was the Titan.
The gray Titan.
Well, they had a both at the Overland Expo that I went to, and so I was able to kind of take a look at them. I mean, the surf camp may even be the same one with a different rep and a couple different mods. To tell you the truth. I don't know for sure, but it has almost all the exact same things. So they may have taken that base camp and rewrapped it as the surf thing and then rolled it out like that. Because
right.
the base camp has the same lightning rack, the same lift. I mean, it's really almost the exact same thing. So they might have both, but at the same time, they're outfitted almost exactly the same. So, but I mean, I dig it. It's got a nice little suspension kit on it. It's got like I said, the lightning rack, a tent. It's got a big awning on it and stuff like that. So they're cool.
Well,
I want a Titan, but
would you really drive a Titan? You don't seem like a full size guy, man.
Now that I got a race truck, I need one.
Does that mean that
you know what I'm saying?
the Frontier could go out to pasture one day?
I don't know. I can't afford a Titan, so
what?
That's neither here nor there.
Last I heard, Regal Nissan had all kinds of great killer deals going on for Titans, man.
Well, unless I can buy a Titan for $400 a month, it's probably not going to happen.
Gen 1 Titan?
Just how long you want the term?
Yeah. Listen, I just bought my Frontier after 3 years, so I've only owned my Frontier for 6 months.
Out of what is it, a 14?
Yep.
How many miles that thing have on it when you pulled off showroom?
0. No, like 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got 76,000 now.
Jeez, all adventure miles too, man.
Yeah, it shows every bit of it. I just put 35s on it though.
I was about to ask you, man. We kind of an update on your vehicle. Yeah, you come back from these trips, man. There's new wheels on the race truck. There's new tires on this one. What is going on with you, man?
Well, so I'm sponsored. I'm sponsored by Simi Valley Tire Pros. They do wheels and all kinds of mechanic work, and I guess it's co-sponsored. I'm co-sponsored through Wheel Pros, wheelpros.com, and then Simi Valley Tire Pros as well. So, yeah, those new KMC wheels is kind of the way we're going. The new KMC grenades, the bronze with the black lip, is what I put on my my Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
So put 17 by 9s, I think, with 315/70/17s on there, which for those of you that want inches, those are a 34.5 by 12.4 inch tire. So it's basically a 35, just a slightly short 35. So yeah, I put those on the Frontier partly because I got an amazing deal on those, and my mudders were getting pretty thin on the front and stuff like that. So yeah, I got a new set of wheels on the Frontier.
How do you like those the KO2s so far? Because you had a mud tire.
Quiet, dude.
You had a big
They're
mud
so
tire.
Quiet. It's hard because now I need to re-gear, but
you needed to re-gear before you needed to re-gear, man.
Yeah, I know. That's just one of those things you just put off forever. Seems like, but yeah. Well, I did re-gear. I re-geared the race truck, Dave.
You did. Yes, you did.
I picked up the Curry rear axle from Evan Weller Racing. If you haven't checked out my latest YouTube video on that, it's at DeGrootX is my YouTube channel. I went to Evan Weller Racing, the factory Ridgeline race team. He also does He's got a race shop out there, so he set up my rear end, 538 gears from US Gear, chrome moly spool, and replaced all the bearings and stuff in the rear end, and welded on back brace on it, stiffened it up a little bit, threw a little paint on it, and yeah. So then I brought that out to the race truck, along with my race seats and my new wheels and tires. Those are KMC bead locks, the race version. I don't remember.
Those are
called.
chrome
like
too, right?
No, they're polished.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's awful brave getting a chrome rim
Yeah,
for racing.
no. They're just like a machine with a, they just put a polish on them.
Yeah.
So they may get powder coated. I don't know yet. I'm gonna pull them off and take them up. I got to pull them off and take them apart at least one more time before the truck gets raced. But
the bead,
I mean,
how come?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Why would you have to pull them apart?
I ordered some special valve stems for them.
Okay.
And I might powder coat them. So if I powder coat them, I'll have to pull them apart again.
Yeah.
So.
Well, your video you posted, man, those it's a great combo for that truck. And other than do a lot of guys race 35s?
Yeah, in our class, almost everybody is racing 35s. The yellow Xterra is racing on 33s. I think he's the only one in the class. I got the General X3 grabbers for racing with. They give great contingency money and stuff like that if you win with those on.
Right.
You actually make some money and stuff like that. So plus the Simi Valley Tire Pros again hooked it up with those. So it's hard to say no when they're sponsoring you and you got some deals on that stuff. So
you've got the ABCs down, buddy.
What's that?
You've got those ABCs down, man.
That's what I got. Yeah. So I brought all that stuff out to the race truck. Brandon he welded on some more stuff. We sat in the car and he tacked in some seat mounting brackets and stuff like that.
Well, I was gonna ask you about that because you really don't have your column. I mean, I'm assuming it's the factory column still, your steering column, so you kind of have an idea where that's going to sit. What's the prep to get your seat kind of a comfortable position? Because I know it's not like you don't have a latch like you would in your stock car where you can just adjust on the fly. Is it a trial and error?
There'll be a couple different. There'll be like 3 different adjustments, and you can actually buy seat rails that kind of slide back and forth, and then you just pin it where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
That have like not universal, but like a 50 different spots on the thing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going that way. I don't think we're going to be having that many drivers, and my co-driver who will be driving some is my buddy who owns the Simi Valley Tire Pros. He's going to be driving as well, and he's the exact same height as me. So it's basically I sat down and said, "This is where I'm going to be sitting when I'm racing," and then he's going to make a couple like triple tab things so you can move it back a couple inches forward or back, depending if you do have someone that's a little bit smaller than you.
So it looks like I'll never get to drive the race trucks. What it sounds.
Well, you know what, Dave? Like in truth, like you sit so close, like my knees are like way bent when I'm in there. And so you could, I'd say anybody 5'8" to 6'1" could probably sit down and get to the pedals without any problem.
Yeah, because you want your arms close because of the fatigue of your arms. You don't want to be like the Fast and the Furious there stretched out.
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest thing is because it's probably just being able to see out as well, because you do sit quite a bit lower in a race seat than you would in a regular seat. So and I didn't want mine too high because else my head's going to be hitting the bars on the ceiling. So the seat has to be pretty low because of how tall I am. And then you add your helmet to the top, and then the space of the tubes for the roll cage.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be bouncing your head off roll cage. So the seat is set pretty low. So if somebody else gets in, it's going to be fairly low for them. They're going to be trying to steal the steering wheel if they're not super tall. But that's maybe the only other concession that you might run into. But yeah, he also set up the rear tire carrier, which I was really stoked with. I love the line that's going on in the back of the truck. We'll be pulling the rear hatch off and just kind of using some of the outer trim to make sure that the rear taillights kind of sit correctly and whatnot.
Right.
So we put it. Oh, go ahead.
What's the next big hurdle for this thing?
Front suspension, and engine cage. Front suspension supposed to be back from laser soon. I guess the big problem, not the big problem, but the snout blocks that the hubs bolt to are going to be, they're super thick, so they come from a machine shop. So those are taking a little bit longer. Laser cut stuff, I believe, is almost done. But yeah, and as soon as he gets that, then he can get those spindles done and get the upper A arms on. But yeah, I'm gonna go down there in another couple weeks, and there should be a lot more progress done. He's making headway, he's chipping away at a lot quicker. Gussets on the roll cage everywhere, and like I said, the rear tire carrier and stuff like that.
What's amazing, money will cause things to be chipped away pretty quick, won't it?
Yeah, it is amazing too that sometimes no matter how much money you offer, it can't get chipped away faster. That amazes me the most.
So it's not like
I've waived big chunks of cash to make this thing go faster, and sometimes that doesn't work.
Right.
Surprisingly,
so it's not like
maybe
that.
I'm just not waving a big enough chunk. I don't know.
Well, when you're a host of the NNP, you wave a big chunk, buddy.
Wave some. I may wave something different if it doesn't get done soon.
Well, speaking of all these questions I've been asking you, I posted up earlier today about some listener questions, and guys, when we do this, please ask whatever you want of us, man. Within reason. You can't have my firstborn or anything like that, but if we ask away, man, we definitely want your content for the show because you guys make this show 100% better. So when you ask us things, it's me and Danny can sit here and talk about his race truck, I imagine, for an hour or two every show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you guys just want to hear more about my race truck, please let us know. Because I'll talk about my race truck for the next 20 minutes.
Right. So question number one came from I don't know how you say it. I'm going to butcher your name, Will, but it's Will Kunisek. Kusinek. And he wanted to know our take of the incident that they had in Colorado on Black Bear Pass.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know enough about it. I saw an Xterra. I heard there was drinking involved. I don't know who, what, when, or why, but I think Black Bear Pass has enough obstacles as it is. I think,
especially if you're a passenger.
Yeah, I think they just got the order wrong. I think you're supposed to go up to Black Bear Pass, drive it, shit your brains out, go back to camp, smile, and then drink. I think they drank, and then went Black Bear Pass. That's the wrong way to do it. They just got their someone may have told them how they're supposed to do it wrong. But yeah, what a bunch of D-bags. I mean, people that drink and drive doing anything are complete and utter douchebags and should be kicked in the crotch and thrown in jail. So,
well, yeah, that's I wouldn't say we're experts of those trails by any means, but from what I've seen on YouTube and all the accidents you see, and obviously drinking adds a whole dimension that you shouldn't be doing on that. But it seems like lack of attention is when you always get in trouble. And the little bit, like you, I don't know a ton about it, but the little bit I do know about it is the guy ran into the back of a Jeep or something and I guess caused him to tumble down the hill a little bit. And everybody seemed to be okay, but the totaled an Xterra for sure. And I'm sure his license will be
yeah,
revoked.
he'll be in some shit, that's for sure, and probably never be invited into any groups that knew him before. So.
yeah, and I've seen some of the Colorado crew, man, just like post up on these Facebook pages for Xterras, and they were like, whoever this is, just leave
this group and don't ever show up anywhere where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a special question here from our buddy over there at OverlandNashville. Let's see what he has to say.
Oh yeah.
Okay. My next question is, do y'all think that Bobby with CVT Tent Company should be getting a Nissan Frontier? I mean, I think it'd look great. Bobby would have stuck the hell out of it. I mean, it'd be great. Bobby, come on. The people want to know. Will you get a Nissan Frontier? Okay. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all again next time.
our buddy Jim Bob there.
Jim Bob.
I can't get enough of him. I keep bugging him, trying to get him to do a segment with us, man. Instead of the Bear Truth, I'd like to have
He'll be on.
the Jim Bob Truth, man.
The Jim Bob Truth, man. That's awesome.
Will CVT ever roll in a Frontier? I will say that's probably a negative for the foreseeable future, Danny. Maybe
No way, Dave. It's gonna happen. Bobby is gonna finally pull his head out of his ass and stop driving around that old, tired, white Toyota Tacoma. Stop being such a bro, Bobby. Buy a Frontier. Join the cool kids club. And and you can quote me on this, Bobby, if you ever listen to this. If you buy a Frontier, I will buy you an action suit, sir.
Wow.
And then you can sport an action suit in your Frontier. Action suit, Bobby.
That's the Danny guarantee right there.
That's it. I just threw it out. I just upped the ante, Bobby.
The action suit ante was brought to you by CVT tents. Oh man, well Jim Bob, he sent us one more, man. So I mentioned to see what this one
nice.
is. If I
Well, hey there, Nissan Nation. I have all them folks asking me questions, okay? And the biggest one I've been getting is, what is a SAS, okay? I mean, I'm sick of hearing about these sassy Nissans, okay? I mean, what is the SAS? I just don't understand it, okay? And the people have spoken. They don't understand what sassy means. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, come on now. The people want to know, okay? Anywho, y'all have a wonderful night. We'll be listening to the show and hear what y'all got to talk about on Monday, okay? Y'all take it easy.
Oh man,
I got that one, Dave. I know that's a big question that gets asked a lot across the Nissan Nation, and this is a very hard to find option for Nissans. It is the secret activation system. So basically, if you have a Nissan and you look on the far left and there's a little truck going down a hill, if you press that button, there's 75 horsepowers that come out of that button, go straight through the wire, and they go into the engine. And that allows you, so basically what it's showing you, and you'll see it on the screen, what it's showing you is that your truck can go, it feels like you're downhill. Like you're just your truck is downhill. That's how fast it goes.
Does that stand for suddenly advanced suspension? Is that what it is?
Well, it's a dual purpose switch.
Wow.
So yeah, so it powers up your the 70 horsepower, and then it suddenly activates your system.
Wow.
It also it also activates your seat hummers. That's a throwback.
That is a throwback, and if you know what episode it is, go listen to it again. We've got to do an interview with Mr. OverlandNashville there. For those that don't know, go to Instagram and just search OverlandNashville. Our buddy Jim Bob there. He's always, he's got
a lot of good info, man, and he knows he answers a lot of questions.
A lot of good Overland
He asks
stuff.
some good questions too, like those two. Those are good questions.
He does, and he one of my favorites was where he was talking about Overland butt seat.
That was a good one.
Was a good one, but
it's very well done.
Well, and speaking of well done, I think this show is about well done, Danny. I
think we've finished it out.
We've lost we've lost a co-host, so I think Mama Bear probably was looking at him going, "Hey, I need some help here."
Yeah, baby's crying.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready. Yep. He left like a bat out of hell, so I imagine that we got ousted.
Knowing he's probably gone for a week next week is probably a little I need some help. I know it would be at my house. But so next time, guys, who knows? That's what's coming up. Hopefully we'll have our buddy Danny over there back with us, and obviously Holden, and you never know what we've got coming up. if you like this stuff, like us, share us on Facebook. Hit us on our website. Hit the old Amazon link. It helps support the show. If you see us in heading towards the West Coast, I've got patches with me, guys. I'll be having your favorite color, whether it be red, green, or tan. We will have those and some fun giveaway stuff. So if you do see us, holler at us, man. We do not care. You can't miss the Regal truck, man. It says Cummins on the side of it and Regal Nissan. Big 1980 on the side for when they started biz. And kind of sad, Danny, that this adventure's without you, man. We usually we have good adventures together, but not so far this year.
Yeah, this year we haven't put one in the bank, but I'm sure sooner or later we'll get back together and get back into the old swing of things.
That's right, man. So whether you are having your adventure in your Nissan car or your Nissan truck, sometimes you just gotta lock and load. Give me a lock and load there, Danny. There you go, buddy. There you go. You gotta lock and load whatever you are carrying. Pop us in your iPad, iPod, whatever technology you're listening to us, and let's go on an adventure together, guys. So from everybody here at the Nissan Nation podcast and my co-host Danny Holden and my beautiful wife Kelly that does our intro, to all you people who listen, what are we, Danny?
I'm tired, and I'm out.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.